Hi, my name is Lawrence.
معكم محمد صيام واليوم
مرحبا معكم رياض حتى نحكي عن أجدد.
Hi, this is Jim. Today, we're gonna... Hi, my name is Albert. Hi, this is
Hi everyone, I'm Dija.
Hello everyone, this is Dija from MediaCast.
Hey
Today
everyone,
I'm gonna show you guys.
Welcome everyone.
Hello everyone. Thank you for joining us. This year, of course, unlike every other year, is a bit different, but different in a nice way. Thank you for joining us at MediaCast Virtual Summit 2020. And joining us today in the Universal Audio session is none other than Nathan Eames. He takes care of the business in Europe, Middle East, and Africa. Good afternoon, Nathan.
Hello, how you doing, Dija?
Good,
Nice
and
to see you.
yourself? You too?
I'm good. I'm very well, thank you. Yeah, good to see you.
So thank you
Great
very
to be
much.
joining you.
Yeah, great to be having you as well. So let's start by just quickly hearing a few words from Universal Audio's founder, Bill Putnam, on what makes Universal Audio tick and what makes them do what they do.
Well, it's almost like there's no end to what music is. I mean, it's artistic expression going back to when humans used to bang on logs and howl at the moon. It captures the very essence of who we are, who we want to be, and that's a source of endless fascination to me. My dad started UA in the late 50s. It was motivated by the needs he saw in his own studio, and there wasn't equipment out there. We make gear inspired by the needs of the musician, but I found that many musicians get inspired by the gear itself. The gear that we've made over the years has gone beyond just documenting performances to shaping the very sounds of records, and it's been used on some of the best records ever made. We've studied classic gear from companies like Neve, Manley, API, Ampex, Studer, and Fender to get to the soul of what makes it all tick. We'll do whatever it takes to get the quality that we demand. It's not just about approximating things with zeros and ones. It's about building digital gear that sweats and breathes analog, just like the original articles. With Apollo interfaces and UAD hardware, you've got access to the best recording gear ever made, either on your desktop or in your rack. So there's really no reason for that record to stay trapped in your head. At Universal Audio, we haven't taken the easy road. We believe that music is more than a sequence of captured notes. We want all of the sound, because that's where the music is.
So there you have it, guys. That is one of a short video about one of the leading interfaces in the world today, the Apollo series. Of course, we know it comes from a brand called Universal Audio, which is now at the moment they've made the Apollo X series, and what I can say is that they're amazing interfaces. Anyone who's producing music, anyone who's music recording knows all about the Apollo X series, and of course anything else you'd like to know more, that's why we're having this session today. And once again, joined by me all the way from the cold London, we have Nathan. So Nathan, how's everything, first of all? I know this is a bit different this year, but it doesn't stop us from making things happen, does it?
It doesn't. You're very resourceful and you've made it happen. I'd love to be there with you physically, but not to be this year. So, but I can be with you virtually, so it's all good.
Exactly. As long as we're connected some way or the other, I guess that's what makes things happen. So we all know that the Apollos are the leading interfaces in the industry, and since 2012, if I'm not mistaken. So, in your opinion, what makes the Apollo unique?
Well, I mean, UA's been actually in the pro audio world since 1958. You heard Bill talking about his father. But as you say, we produced our first interface in 2012. That was the original silver Apollo. And yeah, it was immediately incredibly popular with fans of the UAD plugins, because we were already making plugins. And so these guys really loved it. But, there are a lot of interfaces on the market these days. Who all claim to have the best specs, blah, 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 blah. But you have to listen to these things. we listen to music with our ears, not by looking at a spec sheet with numbers. We appreciate music and how it's all about how it sounds. So yeah, it's widely considered by a lot of professionals that Apollos have the best converters on the market, even above brands who have been making converters for many years. And that's a great reason to buy an Apollo, because it sounds so good. But it's not what makes them unique. As I mentioned, it's really the built-in DSP and their ability to run UAD plugins on the record with, on the record input with no latency, that makes them really unique. We created something called Unison technology, which we've talked about. About it, but I'll speak about it briefly for the good people listening. Unison technology is like digitally controlling the analog preamp. So you can select a preamp for that certain color that you're looking for, let's say an API or a Neve, and the analog input changes impedance and gain structure to match that of the original preamp. Same goes for guitar amps. When you plug into the high Z input, it will take on exactly the same input characteristics of the original amp. So you can make changes on the Apollo and see it happen on the screen. So they are acting in unison. They are one. You're basically using a very expensive classic preamp or amplifier with all the original sounds. So in my opinion, that's a pretty big deal. That makes recording with Apollos very unique. USB basically been known for being the best in the world at modeling classic analog products for about 15 years now. There's lots of other newer plugins that aren't analog emulations, from the likes of Sonox and Brainworks, etc. But we have a lot of plugins on the platform now. We're mostly known for the analog emulations. So as you can see, we've got EQs, we've got compressors and limiters, we've got delays and modulation plugins. We have guitar amp plugins, reverbs, lots of reverbs from Lexicon, AMS, AKG. We've got mastering plugins, from really nice ones from Sonox and Shadow Hills, etc. We've got channel strips from like Neve and Manley. Huge collection of plugins. You'll see the guitars and bass amplifiers like Marshall, Engel, etc. Got even a special processing category like DSs and filters and things like that. And then finally, recently this year, we've got Luna instruments and extensions. So yeah, a lot of plugins on the platform.
That's a lot. I'm sure everybody who's watching right now is quite impressed by that. But now the most important question, I think, when it comes to plugins is anyone who's looking to purchase an Apollo would probably want to know this. So we do know that there are other companies that make plugins out there. But what makes Universal Audio plugins different to the other, I would say, the other brands out there? What makes it special?
The main thing I would say that separates UA from everyone else is that, like I said, for a start, we're known to be the company that makes the best analog modeling. There are other plugin companies that try and do similar, but we're the only company that works directly with these brands. We're not trying to just copy a thing and get away with launching an emulation discreetly and changing the name and pretending it's something else. We're very above board. We work directly with the brands. They come to us and ask us to model their gear, whether it's SSL or Manley or Neve or Lexicon, and we faithfully model every component of their equipment from end to end, from the input to the output, until they're 100% happy, of course. Then they sign off on it when it sounds exactly the same. So the difference is that our plugins are endorsed by them. They're part of the process, and of course they get a royalty on the plugins as part of that. So yeah, all this gear that you're buying, it's like buying the original gear, because we're working with those manufacturers.
Right. So, I mean, you've really tempted me with all these plugins, but I'm sure whoever's listening right now as a music producer or someone who's in a studio who's just into music, they would probably want to know, is it possible to use the UAD plugins with any other interface, or is it natively on, like, can they get it on their computer, or it has to be used only with the Apollos?
You can use them. You can use them with other interfaces, but you need to run them on our DSP. So you either need a UAD satellite, or you need an Apollo, which contains DSP inside. So we feel that the best, having the best of both worlds, is having an Apollo with the DSP inside, because then you can run these plugins on the input and actually record through them with zero latency, which you couldn't do if you're using another interface. You won't get that zero latency, and you won't be able to use Unison plugins and things like that. So yeah, you do need some form of UAD DSP, whether that's inside the Apollo or whether it's a UAD satellite. But they won't run natively. You can't run it on the host computer. It runs on our DSP chips.
Right. Okay. Yeah. That makes sense. And of course, the next question on that would be, I want to purchase an Apollo. Do I get any UAD plugins with it?
I'm glad to hear it. Yeah, you do actually. We want to give people plugins that can get you started. So, we got all kinds of plugins from like the UA 610, 1176. We've got Marshall Plexiamp, Fairchild Legacy. Got the classics like the LA2A and the 1176 compressors, Pultec. There's a whole list of plugins. So you get, I think, it depends whether you buy a twin or an Apollo rack. So there's the Analog Classics bundle, and then there's the Analog Classics Plus bundle, which you get with the Apollo racks. So yeah, we do give you stuff to get started, and then of course there's hundreds of other plugins you can buy on top of that as well.
So that's pretty cool. Thanks for the information. And of course, for more information on that, they can get all that information on the website, Universal Audio, and can they know what specific plugins they would get? It's all mentioned there, correct?
It's all mentioned, yeah. So if you go to uaudio.com and whatever Apollo you're looking at, it will tell you included plugins. It's on the website. I think they were just showing on the screen right there. That was just taken from the website, and it will tell you what you're going to get with the Apollo that you've selected.
Cool. So what I hear a lot, or what we tend to hear sometimes, is that some people think that the Apollo are pretty high end, so it means that, oh, okay, no, it's not for me. This is only supposed to be for studios or professional artists. What do you have to say about that?
I mean, it is. That's where we start. The first Apollo was a rack mount Apollo, and it is very high end, and it sounded great. But we have a wide range. You can see the Apollo X range right there, which is the third generation of Apollos. We had the second generation in 2015, which were black, and then these new guys with incredible converters. They are our kind of flagship converters. They sound incredible, and yeah, they are for a lot of pro engineers, producers, studios. But we do have newer range for other people. So our desktop products are really, really popular. We've got the X4, the Apollo X4, which has 4 inputs, hence the X4 name. So you've got 4 Unison mic preamps on there. And then you've got the twin. The most popular is the Apollo Twin X, which is basically 2. And it comes with different amounts of DSP. So you can get a duo with 2 DSP chips, or you can get a quad with 4 DSP chips inside. And then more recently, just this summer, in fact, we launched the Apollo Solo. So this is more for musicians. We've got a single chip. It's called Solo because it's a single DSP chip. It's got 2 Unison mic pre's, so you can record 2 things in real time. And yeah, it's more pitched at the kind of musician. It's the entry point for recording with the UAD platform, basically, and it's portable, very, very mobile, because it takes its power from the Thunderbolt bus. So you could literally be out in the middle of a field recording, and it's taking the power from your computer. That's on the Thunderbolt version. There is a USB version as well, which does need a power supply. But yeah, that's the new edition. That goes for around $499. So that's the entry point. So there's a wide range for professionals and for musicians and engineers and songwriters, everyone in between.
So I would say it's not just for audio professionals or recording studios. You do have things specifically to that market, but you also have things specifically to musicians who just want to have bedroom studios, for example. I mean, we've seen that a lot for the Apollo Twins and now the Apollo Solo.
Sure, absolutely. With Apollo Solo, that's really what it's aimed at, yeah.
So we're really impressed by everything that Universal Audio does, in terms of, we know that they make interfaces, we know that they make satellites. I mean, what else does Universal Audio make?
Yeah, we've talked mostly about interfaces, but even prior to that, we were making DSP for running the plugins. So basically, these are called satellite units. They contain DSP chips. And that's basically you run your plugins on that. It connects to the computer, and you have you can run them in many different workstations, including our own, which we'll talk about in a moment. So we have a wide range of satellites, whether it's a quad for 4 processing or octo for 8 chips. Then of course the original products we made way back in the 50s and 60s was analog, compressors, mic preamps, channel strips, and we still make a lot of that today. It's not the big part of the business, as you can imagine. Apollos are the main part of what we do today. It's focused on the digital side, but we do still make these, and they are handmade. Some of these units, like the LA2A classic limiter, is handmade in California. So yeah. And then finally, we make Aux, which is a guitar. We do a range of guitar products. We will be having some more coming. And the current product is Aux amp top box, which is basically a load box. So it will go between your amp and your speaker cabinet. So it has so you can literally bring the volume down without, you can still have the full output from your amp, but you can have the volume reduced and still have the amps really cranking it, so you don't upset your neighbors. Or you can take the output directly and record it, so you can get all that sound. And it's got DSP chips on board, so you can control that via an iPad. So you can have different cabinet emulations. You can have there's effects in there, reverbs, delays, and stuff. So yeah, we've got a whole bunch of different products.
That's pretty exciting for Universal Audio, and of course everybody who's joining us right now. Just a quick recap that we're actually right now live. We're talking about Universal Audio, and my next question to you, Nathan, would be: we all know when you want to buy hardware audio interfaces, you would need a DAW, a recording DAW. So does the Apollo interface work with all the recording DAWs? I would say.
It does. It works with Pro Tools, Logic, Cubase, Studio. Whatever you want to use, and always has done. And you'll get, we use something called Console, so you record through Console software, which is like an application that runs hand in hand with the Apollos. So it's basically like an input console, so you can control your Unison plugins and all the effects that you want to record through. But we felt that the experience could be a lot smoother if we actually had our own software. So, many years in the making. I mean, literally, they've been working on this for 6-7 years. This year, we launched our own DW, or recording system, called Luna Recording System. And we just felt that the experience and the workflow would be so much smoother if the hardware and the software were made by the same company and just designed to talk to each other, for that low latency experience. And so, yeah, Luna was born this year.
That is very interesting. So, in terms of Luna, so Luna is basically the DAW that Universal Audio has come up with specifically to the Apollo interfaces?
Exactly, exclusively for Apollo interfaces.
Okay, that's pretty cool. Maybe we can just quickly dive into a Luna, the trailer.
Yeah, we got a short video to show you. This is the launch video.
Cool. Now, will you look
Okay,
at
coming
that?
spring 2020. It's out already. It's out several months now.
That was a really cool video. So why don't you just give us just a quick idea on Luna, just for whoever's watching us right now to have an idea on Luna.
Yeah, so our mission statement, from the beginning, we wanted to bring what was already in existence, our Apollos, and we wanted to transform them into the most inspiring and fully integrated recording systems available. And I really think that that's what we've done. There are the four main kind of unique selling sort of features. One is that it's built strictly for Apollos, so it literally is designed to be fully integrated. It's got built-in Neve summing, so this is something that no other door's got. We've worked with Neve, and you've got this beautiful warm sound when you've got Neve. You can have Neve summing on the buses. We've got integrated multi-track tape, so you can have Studer, for example. You can have Luna. We call them Luna extensions. So you can have a Luna extension from Studer. We've got a new one from Neve ATR. Ampex. We've got the ATR 102, which is an Ampex half-inch tape or 1-inch tape. So you can have this beautiful warm saturation sound of tape. And then we've got a whole bunch of our own exclusive instruments, which are called Luna instruments. We've had a whole team of people working on the Luna instrument side. So we've got a Moog, we've got a gorgeous grand piano. We can take a look at that in a moment. But basically, the whole Luna system has been designed to be very, very easy to use, very, very simple. Two pages, 2 screens, and it's just. I found it very easy to use without reading a huge long manual. There's a 400-page manual which you can read if you're so inclined, but you can just dive in there and everything just comes very naturally. It's very intuitive. It's very much wherever your kind of mouse or cursor is, it's kind of thinking for you, and it knows what you want to do next. So it will change tools. You don't have to dive through tons and tons of menus. It's already thinking, okay, he wants to do a fade or he wants to select a plugin, and it just kind of, it's very contextual and intuitive. Lots of big words. But anyway, I hope you understand what I mean.
No, it does make a lot of sense. Yeah.
I thought we could focus on the some of the instruments. Because there's some really, really fantastic instruments. Rather than playing them myself, I can play keyboards, but I'm not the best keyboard player in the world. The guy that was running the Luna Instruments kind of project for quite a while and creating all the sounds, Dave LeBolt, great guy. He used to play with David Bowie actually back in the day. Fantastic keyboard player, better than me. So I thought we'd just have a look at some of the sounds that are included with Luna. So you get some of them are included in. We get a plugin called Shape, which is basically an instrument, a synthesizer, and it comes with a whole bunch of content, and that's free included with Luna. And then there's the Moog, and there's Ravel as well, which is a fantastic Steinway grand piano. But let's let him introduce some of these sounds, and you can just have a listen to the rich content that we provide inside of Luna.
Okay.
So let's look at some of these basses, and this acoustic bass sounds incredible.
Mm-hmm.
So what's great is it's not just sampled instruments in here, there's also a synthesis engine happening, right?
Yeah, there's a real-time synthesis engine in the instrument. It's not samples, it's running in real time, so you can get a lot of really cool effects. It's got subtractive, FM, and wavetable.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Mm-hmm.
Standard kind of saw sweeper.
Yep.
Yeah.
But what's great about it, especially in the strings and woodwinds and horns, is this also contains sounds from Spitfire, which again are kind of the light versions of the premium Luna instruments that they're going to have on offer as well.
Yeah.
Let's go up to the strings. I want to show people what those long chamber string ensembles sound like. That sounds so good. You can really hear the air.
Yeah. Well, the really cool thing is try the short stuff. Mm-hmm. The shorts where you could go. Spitfire's just got the most incredible sounds, and we've got a nice selection of them in here.
And of course, there's a light version of Revell included inside Shape.
So that's a pretty nice piano to just be able to just start to use as a writing tool. And it's just included right in this instrument.
That's so cool. But of course, a big question a lot of people have is, how does this one compare to the full Luna instrument version? So this feels like the perfect time to switch over, come out of Shape and go into Revell. So let's just pull up the default sound here and show people what it really sounds like.
So the thing we were talking about dynamic range in an instrument, what we've got going on over here is if I play this super soft, and the thing we were talking about the ultra resonant stuff, just to be able to play, this is piano without any sustain pedal down, right? And if I just play. That swirly sound.
Yeah.
And it's like, is what happens in a piano.
That's just the strings and the soundboard kind of all interacting
All
together.
interacting. And the combination of all these pedaled activities.
Man, that is such a beautiful sounding piano.
That was so impressive. Like just that little bit of sounds that we got to hear, I think that speaks for itself. I just want to say, Nathan, of course, everybody who's watching us right now, there's a whole bunch of videos that you can actually watch that Universal Audio has taken the time to make.
There's a lot.
You can find them not just on the website, but also, of course, on your YouTube channel. Universal Audio's page, you're going to be able to find a whole lot of videos. MediaCast page, we keep posting them every now and then as well, so why not just keep checking on those?
Yeah,
right?
it's crazy. There's like probably over 100 hours of. There's a lot. We've been streaming, sometimes every week since we launched in April, and there's a lot. We've had a lot of special guests. We've done virtual recording sessions during the kind of social distance, lockdown, and we've been doing recording sessions in studios and streaming it and showing people how to record a whole band and stuff like that. So that's the best way to learn Luna, apart from just diving straight in and using it, but learning from other pros and engineers and just checking out all the video content.
And I
If
think
you don't want to read a 400-page manual, just check out the YouTube videos.
Right. No, and it makes sense because like a lot of people are still on lockdown. I mean, I think you guys are still on lockdown, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. So people have just got, you in front of your computer, in front of your tablets, in front of your whatever device you want to call. We're always looking for content. We just want to create, or we want to just learn something. And I think this is the perfect time for everyone to try and learn something, or even if you don't want to learn, you can actually gain a little more experience, so you can figure something out that you didn't know in the past or previously. So I think it really helps to have all these videos. Yeah. It's really impressive. Now, my next question to you would be, now that you introduced Luna, how does one get Luna? Like, is it free? Do I have to pay for it?
I wanted to just, well, I can talk about that. So basically, Luna is free with every Apollo. So anyone that buys an Apollo gets Luna for free, and anyone that ever bought an Apollo, so way back to 2012, the last 8 years, it's a gift. It's like thank you for buying our products. Here's a free DAW, and it's been updating, so fast. We've been updating it, every few weeks, every month there's an update. We've done 10 updates now. It's like we're on 1.1 right now, so we had 1.01, 02, 03, and there's a big feedback button at the top of the software, and anyone can just give feedback of if there's something not quite working right or a feature they'd like to see, and they can just update by pressing that button, and we read thousands and thousands of people's feedback, and we're literally developing it as fast as we're reading the feedback. So it's kind of being developed by the users. I'd like to see this feature or that feature. We can't do them all, but yeah. So anyone that's got an Apollo basically will have it, but it's a Mac software only at the moment, not Windows.
You had mentioned a few instruments that come with Luna. We just watched the video of Shape and Ravel.
Yeah, there's a Mini Moog as well. We should take a look at the Mini Moog.
Okay.
The Mini Moog is a fantastic emulation of the classic 70s Moog, Mini Moog, which it's just an incredible. It's the most famous kind of synth sound. It's on so many disco records, 70s and 80s. But yeah, have a look at this trailer right now.
Okay. Man, these
cool.
sounds just want to make anyone just right now just go and click on shop and just buy an Apollo. It's like everything is so tempting. It's like everything we've been talking about, all the videos we've been watching, it's like everything just makes me want to go get an Apollo right now, even though I'm not really a music producer. So apart from these two instruments, what else comes free with Luna, Nathan?
So what you get free, so some options, I should be clear, some options are free and some options are paid. So the stuff you get free, in terms of instruments, you get Shape, which we looked at earlier. We heard all those gorgeous strings and things. And you do get a light version of the Ravel grand piano in there, not the full version, which you have to pay for. But yeah, it's like a 4-part sampler. It's multi-timbral. It's kind of got a synthesis engine in there as well, as Dave said in the video, and that comes free with a huge content library. All the instruments, everything you can think of, drums, bass, all the stuff you need to kind of get started with making music. And the other thing that you get free is an extension. It's called Oxide. It's a tape extension plugin. So the Studer is a paid option, and the new ATR, the Ampex, is a paid option. The Oxide tape one we give for free, and it's a great tape emulation. You can choose the speed of the tape, and it just gives this wonderful warmth. It just glues your whole mix together and makes it sound like a record. So Shape and Oxide are free, basically, along with a bunch of plugins as well. When you buy Apollo, you get the Analog Classics bundle, which is a whole bunch of plugins. UAD
So we've
plugins.
talked about all these things, all these exciting things, let me just repeat, in terms of universal audio. I think you've managed to give us a good insight of anyone who'd like to know about universal audio, all the audiences who are listening and watching us right now. Of course, we're going to go back to the main studio in a bit, where we're going to take the Q&As. We're going to have a Q&A session. And the good thing is that everybody who's watching us around the world, especially in the Middle East right now, we do want to tell you that, of course, Universal Audio is available. You can get it from any of your preferred dealers. And everything that Nathan has just spoken about is available on our website. It's also available on Universal Audio website. Nathan, I just want to say thank you so much for joining us today.
It's been
It's
great.
been a pleasure meeting you from your home.
Exactly.
And unfortunately, we can't get to see you live, but of course, this is good enough.
Yeah.
We're going to have to head back to the studio, where we're going to take some questions from some of our audiences right now. But I do want to say thank you very much for joining us. We're going to
been great.
leave the audience. Would you like to say anything before we leave the audience with a short video on the Apollo?
No,
demo?
just it's been a pleasure. It's been fun. Thank you.
Lovely. Thanks, Nathan. Bye, everyone.
Take care. See you guys.
Started with some muscle and developed the flow. The point stands, I'm the realest I know. Put on a beat, I get it in my zone. Nobody help, I be good on my own. It's all love, I ain't got no foes. You see, I'm living this life like I'm golden. I'm rolling, chosen. See me wide out in the open. All it really takes is a little devotion. Mix it with talent, I found a balance. Expand my palate. Tell me what's the fun if you see no challenge. I'm overcome everything that stands in the way of my greatness. The future is mine for the taking. I'ma take everyone I came with you and for the moon like Apollo. All this good fortune like I just hit the lotto. And this is all I wish, like a genie in the bottle. Smoke good, eat good, live good is the motto.
I'm a side, been grinding, waiting on my time. And I'm a side, pushing against the weight on me. Work that working, I'm serving, shining like a diamond. Under the pressure, I make a treasure that was made for me.
Made for me, a free agent can play for the major leagues. I took my time with the crowd so patiently. I work a art like the words, it's a masterpiece. The boy came with the halo like Master Chief. I got the fame in the boot like Master P. And the devil's no match for me. I ain't really with the blasphemy. I just reflect on the past and I put it in the poetry.
I'm a side, been grinding, waiting on my time. I'm a side, pushing against the weight on me. Work that working, I'm serving, shining. I'm serving, shining like a diamond. Under the pressure, I make a treasure that was made for me. Yeah, this was made for me. Yeah, it was made for me.
Okay, let's try one.